Season 3 for Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri this season. He has finished with a .500 record of the regular season, each of his first two, and he's been selected for bowl games in both. Last season finished off their home slate with a big win against Florida. This season, looking to take another step forward. He sat down with our Barrett Sallee today, SEC Media Days in Atlanta.
Joined now by Eli Drinkwitz, head coach of the Missouri Tigers. I guess first things first, Eli, when it comes to your team, obviously you're replacing some stars. Tyler Beatty, obviously Connor Bazelak leaves. Brady played quite a bit last year. What's the feeling in the locker room? What's that culture like now that you have a new sort of fresh blood of impact players?
Well, I think for us the culture is starting to really cement the foundation of our program, the consistency of the core values, the consistency of the goals, the consistency of the day-to-day, how we go about our business in our program. And we've added 19 transfers and several scholarship freshmen signees, and so it's starting to become how we do it around here. Mm-hmm. This is how we do it here. This is how we do it at Mizzou, and so I think that continuity is good for our program. That foundation is good for our program. There's an expectation of how we're going to act, how we're going to be, what kind of teammates we're going to be, and so I think that's what's been positive for us moving forward.
Quarterback position is loaded in terms of the amount of players. You get Jack Abraham from Mississippi State / Southern Miss. Obviously, Brady played for you guys quite a bit last year. Just handicap that race and what you're expecting to see and what you're looking for this summer.
Yeah, what we've really looked for, we have 5 requirements for the quarterback position. It's toughness, preparation, decision-making, accuracy, and leadership. And really, the toughness and leadership are really what's going to separate them in the quarterback competition. These guys are going to have decision-making processes. They're going to have to separate themselves in the preparation of learning the offense. They're going to have to be accurate passers. But who's going to lead? Who's going to lead their guys into the end zone? Who's going to have that mental toughness to stack good days? Maybe you get a lead in the competition. Do you rest or do you continue to push the gas down? And the good thing about it is we've got a really tough, challenging schedule on the road. 5 iconic road games at iconic places, and so whoever emerges from this quarterback competition is going to be battle tested, and that's a good sign for us.
Is there a specific date, not necessarily an actual date, but a general feeling of when you need to make a decision, or at least whittle some numbers down so the eventual winner isn't getting first team taps taken away from him?
Yeah, I think we'll have it. We'd love to have it decided after the second scrimmage. But whenever that player reveals himself to the team, when the team knows that that's the starting quarterback, we'll make that decision. And so it could be day 3, it could be day 8. It could be 14.
You did have to make some different coaching hires, a lot of promotion from within. Just explain your philosophy in terms of deciding what constitutes the members of this current coaching staff.
Low ego, high output, low ego, high output, and preference over performance. I think you got to have a group of people who. It's not about them. It's about what's going to make our players the most successful, what's going to give us a chance to win, who's going to be able to walk into a room and command the room from a leadership standpoint, but get everyone involved and get the most out of them. Steve was a great leader for us, and wish him the absolute best in going to the NFL, going back to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
We was excited about him leading the defense for a year 2 and continue to see growth. When he had the opportunity to leave, I knew that we wanted to promote Blake Baker from within. Blake's a guy that I've known for a long time. I'm excited about his leadership. He's designed defense, called defense in big games, been in the league, knows what gives offensive coaches problems. And so excited about him and Coach Smith working together to create our defense.
You mentioned transfer portal. You have, 16 transfers. What's your philosophy in terms of how do you approach the transfer portal and, picking and choosing who you invite over?
Yeah, we actually had 19 guys that we added in transfer portal. And for me, it's an opportunity to balance your roster and kind of correct some maybe mistakes early in my tenure, or fix with people leaving and attrition, maybe get a chance to balance the roster, add quality players. I think the most important thing we look for is the right fit, focused, intangibles, talented, and tough. Are these guys the right fit for Mizzou? Can they come in, if they're an older guy who's played a lot at a previous place, can they come in and compete for the starting position? If they're a young guy, are they going to embrace their role? We have a couple of guys who left their previous schools after their first years that maybe we had recruited in the previous, and so we had a good relationship with them, and they just needed a different opportunity. So that's kind of how we went about it.
Obviously, name, image, and likeness is a big deal these days. When you're on the recruiting trail, how does that get brought up in terms of, I mean, obviously you guys can't use it as an inducement, but do players bring it up with you, and how often does it come up?
I mean, it absolutely comes up as what is the opportunities for name, image, and likeness. Obviously, for us at the University of Missouri, we're sandwiched between two top 50 media markets in both Kansas City and St. Louis. We're the only Division I school in the state. So I kind of have a line that I can kind of go to.
That sounds rehearsed a little bit.
Yeah. It comes up. I think all you can do is present what you feel like your opportunities could be, and then they make the decisions based off what they feel like is in the best interest of their future.
A solid recruiting class, obviously, with Luther Burden probably being the centerpiece of that. Explain people should expect from your incoming freshmen.
I mean, obviously, I think we recruited a talent level that hadn't been seen in a few years, and so those guys are coming in with the right kind of chip on their shoulder, the right kind of attitude. They're not expecting anything. They're coming to earn whatever they can get, but they are a talented group, and there's going to be several of them that have opportunities to provide key minutes for us.
You come over to Missouri, it's obviously an odd time in our world with COVID, and then even last year, the sort of restrictions on who can be coached and how many people when they can be coached, things like that. How did that affect the development and the way you want to build this program?
I felt like last year we were still trying to establish how we were going to do things because the previous year was so interrupted with COVID. Mm-hmm. We took over a program that was under NCAA sanction, had limited scholarships, and was going through a lot of change. And then you throw in COVID, you throw in NIL, you throw in the transfer portal. There was a lot of things to digest, and that's why, again, I go back to kind of my opening statement, which was we are finally to the point where there is some continuity of belief in systems in place that is, I think, an acceleration for growth.
Eli Drinkwitz, thank you.
Thank you.
Barrett Sallee interview, nicely done with Eli Drinkwitz. You look at the schedule for Missouri, and the big non-con game to start the season is in week 2 at Kansas State. Tough way to start the SEC schedule as well. At Auburn, then Georgia, then to the Swamp. Maybe they can make some hay the back end of that schedule, which looks a little bit more manageable.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.